Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss a straightforward yet intriguing SQL problem. This SQL problem is widely asked in SQL coding rounds. So let's dive into it and explore it together. So this is a very easy problem. We have an employee table having employee ID, first name, last name, and ingestion time. This is the sample of this table. So we need to remove duplicates from this table. So we remove the records having the same employee ID, but we will retain those employee IDs which are latest one. And this problem becomes a bit more interesting when we try to solve this without using Windows function. So to go a bit deeper, let's take the example of RO. So RO has multiple employee IDs, so it means we have dupes here, right? And we have ingestion time. So here we will retain Sharma underscore latest record, right? Because the ingestion time is the latest, it's the highest or max. The rest are the older versions, so we will just remove them. So this would be retained, but these two records will be deleted. Likewise for Olivia, this will be retained and these two will be deleted. Similarly for Rohan, this will be retained, these two records will be deleted. Liam, Priya and Emma doesn't have any duplicate records, so these are retained. So at the end, we should have 6 records after the delete operations, and these 6 records are deleted as well. Okay, so I guess now we have our problem statement clearly defined. Before we discuss the solution to this problem, let's take a step back and ask ourselves why the interviewer is asking this question. The interviewer might be asking this question to make sure that the candidate has the relevant experience, or at least has some experience, because deletion of duplicate data is a common task or common day-to-day task of any data professional. So if you don't solve this problem, it could be a red flag. Interviewer may also be gauging your ability to write effective SQL, right? And then how can you impress the interviewer? So first thing to impress the interviewer is to solve the problem, right? But that is given, that is assumed. But before you solve the problem, it's good to paraphrase the problem, make sure that your understanding and interviewer's expectations are aligned. And since this is a delete operation, so it could be risky if you delete unwanted data. So it's good to clarify and ask specific questions about the problem. So this will give a very good impression that you are a person who understands the problem first, clarify all the doubts, and then try to solve the problem. This is a very good quality in any data engineers. Now, what could be the different approaches to solve this problem? So we'll solve this problem using classical SQL based approaches, which is like subqueries or correlated queries or CTs maybe. And the other and simpler way could be like using Windows functions. So having this background, this context, let's go to the SQL demo and get our hands on the code. I have created the script. This script is used for this demo and will be running multiple times because we have multiple approaches to solve this problem. This script start with dropping the table if exists, then create the table, insert some data, and finally insert some duplicate data for our demo so that we can validate whether our solution works or not. So let me run this script and then see how much data we have and how does it look like. And here you go. So if you notice the first 3 rows, we have 3 entries for RO having same employee ID. It means these are duplicates. So we need to retain the first one, and the last 2 records, which are the stale records, we need to delete them. So if we start with the ranking function or Windows function logic, right? So what we can do is we can create a new column as rank and put rank as 1, 2, and 3. And where rank is greater than 1, we just simply delete those records. So we'll just delete these records, right? So that's pretty straightforward. However, we need to think of some approach on how we can delete it without using Windows function. So, so idea is simple. What we can do is we can check one record and compare it with the rest of the records one by one in a form of loop, right? So we do with this row and check some condition. Similarly, we take this record and loop through all the records and see if the condition is met or not, and so forth. And in the process, we will ignore few rows and select few rows for the deletion. And the logic which we need to consider would mainly be around ingestion time and employee ID. So with this intuition, I think we should give an attempt to how we can solve that. And this loop kind of scenario is suggesting that we should use some correlated queries to solve this problem, right? So let's go through each approach one by one and see how we can achieve the solution. Okay, so let's start with approach one. In approach one, what we are going to do is we are using classical SQL method, using some aggregate function to delete the unwanted or duplicate rows. We are not going to use Windows function. Okay, so let me write a query, select query, which retrieves me, which fetches all the records which we need to delete. So select star from employee tubes as ed1, where ed1 dot ingestion time is less than select max ingestion time, and maybe we say ed2 dot ingestion time from employee tubes ed2, where ed1 dot employee id equals to ed2 dot employee id. So what we are trying to do here is we basically let me write it in a more readable way. Okay, it's more readable. So what we are trying to do here is we basically in this partition we are getting the max. So this would be the max ingestion time, right? And then we are comparing each record with this max, each record's ingestion time to this max. So this max, right? And whichever is less than this max is the one which we are going to delete. So this will not qualify, this will qualify, this will qualify. So that's the idea behind it. Okay, so coming back here, so if I run this, it should get me these two records plus these two records plus these two records. So total number of 6 records would be returned, right? So let's go here and run this. Cool. So you can see here that if I sort this, or maybe I'll just write it here, order by employee ID or ed1 dot employee ID comma ingestion time. So this gives me, this would give me Sharma 2, Brown 2, Patel 2. These are the stale records, so it needs to be deleted, right? So we are going in a good direction. So that's correct query. And what I can do now is replace the select star with delete and run this query. Cool. So it looks like the 6 records are deleted, and if we go and verify here, okay, now out of 12 only 6 are left, and see whether the employee ID is unique now or not. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, it looks unique, and the values are the latest values where the duplicates were there, so which is also good. So the approach one is using classical, and this is how you can achieve it, and most of the candidates would follow this approach. So it's quite common. Let's move to the second approach number two. Okay, now we will discuss approach two. It's pretty similar to approach one, with some deviation, and it doesn't use the ranking function as well. So let me fetch all the records which we need to delete, right? So select star from employee table, and this time we are going to use exist feature of SQL. So select one from employee dupes as ed2, where ed1 dot employee id is equal to ed2 dot employee id. This is common, and here's a catch. Here we are going to write a condition less than ed2 dot ingestion time, and if I run this query, right, if I run this query, it should give me all those records which we need to delete. And yeah, it seems this is the right approach. So what we are doing here is let's go back to our original SQL. Okay, so in this, right, in this in these three, what it is doing is it is taking the first record and then looping all the records, right, one by one, and ed1 dot timestamp, so 3, 8 and 11 is less than this, is less than this, no, is less than this, no, is less than this, no. So it will not return this, and then it will pick the second record and it will compare the ingestion time with this. It is less than this, yes, because it's 1 and it's 3. Likewise it will also return. So there will be something returned for other two records. So that's the idea behind it. Again, we just simply delete, replace select star from the delete, and run this query. Great. And if I run this query again, I can see the distinct records, the duplicates has been removed. So this is approach 2. So we are now going to discuss final approach number 3, using Windows function. We are going to use row underscore number and cd, and then we'll see how we can delete it. Okay, so let's start creating the cd as select star row number over partition by employee id ordered by ingestion time desk as rank. Let's do a quick check whether this works or not, where rank is greater than 1. So this should give me all the records which we are going to delete. And I forgot to put the from clause, employee tubes. I think this should work. Okay, yeah, so these are the records which we are going to delete. So we simply can use delete, but in some cases this doesn't work. It works in SQL Server, but it doesn't work in Postgres. We are using Postgres here, so let's find some other way. So what we are going to do is select star from employee table, where ed dot employee id, ed dot ingestion time, in select employee id ingestion time from ct rank, where rank is greater than 1. So if I run this, I should get all the records like Sharma 2 and Sharma, which we need to delete. Okay, looks good. So now I simply replace this select star with delete, and see if this works or not. Looks like it deleted the records. Let's go here and verify. And as we can see, the employee IDs are unique and the records which are retained are the latest one. Okay, cool. So we have seen all the three approaches: approach 1, approach 2, approach 3. So we have just now seen three different approaches to solve this problem, and I hope you must have learned something new in all these three approaches. At least I did. So thanks for watching. In the upcoming weeks, we will dive into a range of SQL coding problems from easy to challenging, sharpening your skills at every level. And I think watching these videos can enhance your SQL skills. It also potentially may help you to land a new job. You never know that someone from interview panel asks you the same question, or some of these concepts you can apply in your coding rounds. So stay tuned and please watch the playlist Interview SQL Coding. There will be more interesting videos coming on your way in upcoming weeks. Thank you so much.